What's up, everyone? Welcome to today's video. Welcome to the Video Game Fight School channel. Thank you very much for tuning in. I'm getting a lot of interesting comments from the Xbox community. I want to take my time to highlight it because I've been on the forefront. In fact, I think I've probably been the biggest champion of Xbox and its position right now in the market. They've been the underdog, and I've been looking at the business strategy and the flexibility that Phil Spencer and the team had taken to pretty much beat the market by going around its paradigms. At first, most Xbox players were kicking and screaming. They didn't really like it. They were complaining. But now, Xbox hold a very strong position. You can't even hear anything about PlayStation in the whole wind. Right now, PlayStation is advertising Horizon Zero Dawn remake. Nobody gives a hoot. The big conversation is now everybody finally coming to terms with the reality. I've been pointing out that Game Pass was pretty much going to change the deal. See, Xbox community, I made a video, and I'm a PlayStation fan and I'm a PC aficionado. I made a video that Spider-Man, Marvel Spider-Man, might make its way to the Xbox because of the shift and the change in the industry. Now, it's a hypothesis, yes, but do you know how much I got dragged for that video? Now, as many of you may think that, my position towards this conversation, perhaps, in a sense, doesn't really make any sense to you. Well, bear with me. I have, a knack for just divorcing my emotions from any of these things. And honestly, let me just call y'all out. You're doing the exact same thing that the PlayStation fans did. You're trying to speak to me with both sides of your mouth. And I'm not really too good at hearing multiple things at the same time. I'd love to hear a unified message because I made similar claims with PlayStation, and the Xbox community seemed to be on board with the math at the time. But now that the math has come to the Xbox community's doorstep, it doesn't seem like the Xbox community is too fond of that reality. I'll read another comment to you guys. This is very interesting. A lot of my audience members, shout out to you guys, man. I did one with another video, and I'm just going to keep doing them so that we can keep looking at the math. You okay? So this audience member of mine said something. They said these exclusives Xbox fans are talking about, and then they said it seems flippant. That's what it seems. Sorry, it seems insidious. He says, I've said that I don't mind games going to other platforms, but they need to keep an identity. Halo and Gears are said to be Xbox's flagship games. Okay, so which one would you rather take? Identity or profitability? And what would be the ramifications of, in quote, identity versus, in quote, profitability? If one is actually there versus the other, which one do you think advances the business even more? The answer is very simple. Profitability will advance the business and progress the business. You see, many of you are not thinking about Halo and Gears from the perspective of, and I'm not saying they should go, I'm just saying that the trend is that they will go, or if they don't go, other games will go in their place, because at the end of the day, the trend is that these games are developed by studios that have a burn rate. They are expensive to keep these studios and keep these staff. Where would be their income stream if we relegate the entirety of all their purchases to the Xbox platform? And I'm giving a scenario. What if Xbox players eventually just stay locked in to Call of Duty like they always have? What's going to happen? Okay? Identity is what we're going to be chasing. Each game and each studio under the Xbox flag has an obligation to make games that are marketable, right? So if you look at the list from Circana for the week ending September 14th, and this is just one list, we can go look at other lists. Can you please show me any other game other than Roblox, Call of Duty and Minecraft that's on here? So what this is saying is, as the engagement goes on, and look at the Xbox side, the developers over at Activision and the Call of Duty studios, they're going to maintain profitability. Mojang is going to maintain profitability with Minecraft, and so its developers have a very good income stream. But the developers over at the new Halo Studios, if their game is limited to the, PlayStation, to the Xbox platform, and Xbox players are not necessarily interacting with that game to the point where the game is actually as profitable, then it becomes a financial burden to Xbox. Because now other games are going to be carrying that studio for the name of identity and flagship. And so from a business perspective, if a game is not performing well, and I'm not saying, that the Halo is not going to perform well or Gears is not going to perform well, but if the event were to happen and Xbox players are caught napping playing other games and don't really interact with those games very well, then that studio may face closure. You see, you guys are not paying attention. Why do you think Tango Gameworks closed? Why? Why do y'all think Tango Gameworks actually did close? I think it closed because the studio could not sustain itself financially. And its new IP strategy did not necessarily work out as they would have thought. So back to your comment. I'm really interested in actually having this conversation. So this is really good. Let's keep talking. Let's keep looking at it. So you said Halo and Gears are said to be Xbox's flagship games. So are you saying that Halo and Gears can stay and anything else can go? Perhaps maybe that's the case you're making, because the other audience member was saying, I don't care, but just the fact that PlayStation will use a little bit of that money to try to block games from coming to me, I care. So, you say Starfield and other games are fine to go. Keeping some of their games, as you say, exclusive is a way to lure people into the ecosystem. I said to you that I'm surprised that Starfield stays, but I actually have what I think is a data set that actually explains why Starfield's staying and why Starfield will more than likely stay. Again, guys, let's stick with the math so that we can have what I think is a much more, refined, direction as to how this is going to move. So look at Starfield, look at Indiana Jones. Starfield, I think, is going to sit on Xbox. Like, as many people are saying, Starfield might get ported. Maybe it will, but I think it's going to sit there. Do you know why? Game has hit profitability. It hit it fast, too. Like, it knocked out those numbers, bam. Like, it's when they launched the early access mode, that by itself on PC, we saw the Steam database numbers, and there were over 200,000 people that were playing concurrently and the early access mode. They paid extra money to buy the early edition. And if that number is about 10% of people who bought that edition, then about 2 million copies of the most expensive version of Starfield sold. So Starfield made money. It made good money fast. Then there were people who bought the $30 early access on Game Pass. So not only did they have the Game Pass subscription, they also then bought $30 to play early. I was one of those folk. I bought the Game Pass $30, upgrade. So I played early because I was going to buy the regular edition, but then somehow the week freed up for me. And I was like, I'm going to play Starfield. And I paid $30 extra. So Starfield was hitting. So there's no reason, you see, and again, shout out to you, but there's no reason to take Starfield to another platform at this moment. It's selling. It's sticking on both Xbox and both the Xbox PC store and Steam, and it's doing very well. Xbox is raking in cash because majority of the sales, even though they may be from Steam, the other two are on Xbox platforms where they rake in basically 100% revenue. However, Indiana Jones is expensive. And Indiana Jones, even though they put it everywhere, is going to need a lot of money because those fees that Lucasfilms, is going to demand is really high. Lucasfilms was not a cheap asset for Disney. It was a $3 billion asset that they paid, George Lucas for Lucasfilms. So Indiana Jones is going to require a lot of sales. Except they had a business tier pattern or a business model where Indiana Jones has the anticipation of Starfield, which I don't think it does. There's going to be need for that game to be sold on many more platforms. I find it strange that you take this form. I take this form because the data supports the form. I have no form. I'm honestly, guys, I'm really comfortable. Last night, I was trying to play Call of Duty on my PC Game Pass, but the way they have the battle launcher on PC is so annoying and it's aggravating. Guess where I went to go play Call of Duty Black Ops 6? On my Xbox Series X. I was like, oh, thank God that somebody was thinking and decided to make this experience here streamlined. So having access to the options is fine. I'm just saying that here in the business sense, this is exactly why this option is on the table, for them to move games where they need it. It sounds like a PC user and a PlayStation user all stuck together. Oh, are you trying to say I'm a PlayStation, I'm a pony? Is that what you're trying to say? Is that you're trying to say I'm a pony or I'm a PC guy? Are you trying to, is that where we are now? Are we going to now start doing that? Are we going to abandon the data? Because I see like you want a certain, logo flying, but you're not considering like the studios. I couldn't be bothered. We need all your games, which really means we need all Sony's games. As you know, Xbox goes straight to PC. Of course I know. I play on PC. The Sony side, we need all your games, is slightly louder voice. Thanks to the acquisition of Microsoft made. Now, I could be totally wrong, but it's just how I hear this. Well, it's how you hear it. Sorry. Again, I couldn't be bothered as to how anybody feels about this. Guys, I'm being just, I have very minimal time to be able to drive this message across as to why this is on the table. The data is literally leaning heavy on exactly why things are moving the way things are going. This is why I say, and when gamers would ask me, I remember when the PlayStation community was asking me, why do you care about the numbers? Just play games. It's the numbers that really drives a lot of the decisions. And I am thankful that Starfield did well, because remember, the PlayStation community ragged on that game so much, and it was nice to see them eat crow and see the egg on their faces, because that was just a big, huge downplaying. And now all they want to say is, well, Starfield is probably going to come to PlayStation. Ha ha ha. Now they want to change it up again. I'm constantly catching them at every single benchmark of downplaying Xbox, even to their own, to them being the joke. And these are my fellow PlayStation fans. So why shouldn't I tell them the truth? Why shouldn't I say the truth even when it comes to the Xbox fans? Through my post, I'm looking at this on a business stand. Well, let's look further. Microsoft wants everyone in their ecosystem. Yes. Play your games elsewhere. Use all devices, even your TV. Don't buy full games when you have hundreds of games with day one drops. This is a mantra they're following. You know why games going to other platforms actually helps? It puts the taste in the mouths of people. Even I, who may say that the games need to move, I understand that there's a case-by-case basis, requirement, because even the case-by-case basis gives a good marketing structure. They play Indiana Jones, or they see Indiana Jones, and they say, well, I can play this game now, and I can play it for a very minimal amount of money. If I buy like a Series S, I can actually get in. The marketing is already doing itself. It really is. There's really no need for much to actually happen. However, you got to think about the studios and think about their profitability. If, say, Bethesda Game Studios needed more money right now, you're going to see that they will put Starfield on the PlayStation platform. So this is why Xbox now has some room, seeing how Bethesda's game, even with all of the vitriol it faced, still was able to achieve some level of, success. They now have a little bit of comfort level. But don't be fooled. If Halo goes the way of bad sales, yes, you'll see it on PlayStation. If Gears goes the way of bad sales, poor sales, you'll see it on PlayStation. Or those studios will be closed. They'll merge them into another studio, and then they'll start pumping out some more games to be able to keep their profits high. You forget that Microsoft's a corporation. You forget how many people got laid off, this year. You forget how much a CEO's salary increased, even in the face of those layoffs. Be careful what you wish for. Be very careful. Trust me. This is a very, very dangerous business model to want to stick and be, to want to stick with a business strategy that without an exit plan is going to pretty much decimate you. Thanks for watching the video, guys. Peace out.